Hey Rabbits, it's Trixie and here are 10 tips to learn a language by yourself. What can you do at home without anybody else? Or apart from paying money for expensive lessons, downloading apps or spending a year abroad? Let's say you're a native English speaker and you want to learn German because German is the most beautiful language in the world. Cheesecake. Yes, I get it. All languages are equally beautiful. But let's just take the English-German example for this video, okay? Listen to native German speakers. If you learn a language by yourself, you have to listen to native speakers so that you can adapt to their pronunciation and their choice of words. Try to find a movie, a series, or a cartoon that plays in our modern age and deals with a daily life topic, something easily digestible, like a funny romantic movie, for example. And that also has a lot of dialogue in it, because that's what you want to learn first, right? To communicate with native speakers. Just make sure that Til Schweiger is not part of it, okay? Or what about an interview with a German actor or musician? Then first watch it in English, like usual, so that you get the basic plot and you know what it's all about. Second, watch it in German with English subtitles. Try to not only read, but get a feeling for what the actors are saying before you look down to the translation. Pause the movie whenever you feel like you cannot catch up anymore. Rewatch the scenes that you had troubles understanding and repeat words or sentences that you liked after the actors. You can repeat step 2 as often as you want before you switch to step 3, which is watch the movie in German without the subtitles. Again, pausing and rewatching scenes and pronouncing different words and dialogue parts yourself. Also, you don't have to watch the whole thing in one piece. Watch just enough to learn something, but stop when you feel that your brain is overwhelmed and simply full for the day. While watching, write down interesting words and dialogue parts that you want to remember into a little notebook and go through them every now and then. Just make sure that the spelling is correct by rechecking in a dictionary because it's so annoying if you learn something and you learned it wrong. It's really difficult to get this out of your brain again and replace it with the correct spelling. Switch the language of a game you play to German. Many people say that you should switch your mobile phone settings to a foreign language to get used to it, but I actually don't consider this a good advice. At least not for starters. I mean, everything in your cell phone is pretty technical, and I think that you want to learn first how to talk to people before you learn that Bildschirmeinstellungen means display settings. Hallo, ich bin Trixie. Wie heißt du? Bildschirmeinstellungen. Schick. These long, complicated words may discourage you, so my advice would be to do the same language switch thing with a game you play. But this doesn't work for any kind of game, of course. If you switch, for example, Skyrim to German, you will learn words like Orkischer Zweihänder der Müdigkeit, which is the Orkish greatsword of weariness. And it is pretty awesome to know that. But when would you ever need this in a conversation? Hi Chelsea, du, ich hab's leider vergessen. Wie hieß nochmal dein Meerschweinchen? Orkischer Zweihänder der Müdigkeit. Oh, she's so cute. So if you choose a game, make sure it plays in our modern time or it at least uses our modern language. A point-and-click adventure, for example. Maybe one that you like. Monkey Island. You cannot play Monkey Island often enough. Or, for example, The Sims, to get into contact with normal life happenings. There you encounter daily life vocabulary in its natural context, which makes it easier to remember and also easier to guess what it could mean. Just make sure you don't end up speaking Simlish. Sul, komun snälla. Again, write everything down that you consider helpful. Write this one tricky word that you cannot remember on the back of your hand and look at it whenever you're bored. Sometimes you may encounter words that you see over and over again, but you cannot manage to remember what they mean. This may sound weird, but to break the spell, write one of these words down on your hand and write the translation right under it. Not more than one per day, and don't worry if others see it. You are on a special mission. This word tries to fuck with you. Alright, give it its fame. Let it sit on the throne that is your hand. Dedicate a full day to it. But after seeing it over and over again on your skin, believe me, you will remember it. And it will be defeated. Just one little side note. Make sure it's nothing embarrassing. Otherwise you may get some funny looks with that on your hand. Vocabulary. To easily learn a first set of vocabulary that will come in handy for normal conversations, buy sticky notes. Write the German and English words for everything in your flat or house on them and pin each of them onto the item it refers to. Of course, not in a fashion that they will come off too easily or are always in the way. If you have a pet, that's not an appropriate item for this method, and also, for example, for the mouse of your computer, cups or forks, this is just not possible. So find things that this trick actually works with. It helps you seeing the word over and over again and to learn it and memorize it without much effort. For the other everyday items, you can craft little flashcards with pictures like these I did. And whenever you have some free minutes, just grab one and learn with it. Invent little stories for your vocabulary. Talking about vocabulary, don't just write things down and try to hammer the words in your head. The better and funnier way is to invent little stories. For instance, the cow means die Kuh in German. Difficult to remember? Well, try that. How is the animal called in English? A cow. And what sound does a cow make? Moo? Exactly. And now just put these two together. Kuh. Mind blown. Of course, this doesn't work for every single word, but just give your imagination a try. Grammar sheets in every room. When you learn a language, try to picture that language as an elephant. Wait, what? Well, let me explain. An elephant stands on 4 legs, right? With just 2 or 3 or even 1, he would easily lose his balance. And look hilarious, by the way, but never mind. In the same way, a language also has some legs that it stands on and balances its weight. Some rules that you have to learn first and that will make everything else easier and that carry all the other topics that you will learn later. The conjugation of regular verbs, for example. How does the German verb conjugation work is a perfect question to begin with. Write down the rules on a sheet of paper in the simplest way possible. Bullet points instead of sentences. Just 2 different colors. Write everything with big letters. If possible, with your own hands and a pen and not with a computer. Because that just feels craftier. The learning experience feels more real. But make sure your handwriting is, readable. Prepare a sheet of rules as if you would do it for your tottery grandma. And then hang it next to the toilet. And whenever you do, this thing that people do on toilets, read the rule. Try to repeat it. Try to squeeze it into your brain the same moment that you squeeze something else out of you. Prepare 4 or 5 sheets like that. Put another one in your kitchen so that you can read the rules while you look out of the window waiting for the pizza delivery guy. Another one next to your bed for when you have boring sex with your long-term partner. And another one onto your exercise bike so that this thing gets finally used for something. A sort of modern overpriced pinboard. And you can look at it from your couch eating potato chips in commercial breaks. But jokes aside, put learning sheets in your house so that you see them, read them, remember them, and finally learn what's on them. Whenever you notice that you successfully learned the rule on a sheet, exchange it and replace it with another one. For example, the most common German verbs, another leg of the elephant. Yes, most likely we will end up with more than 4 legs for our elephant, but let's say we count the trunk as a leg and it's a male elephant. So 6 legs. Ta-da! Read and write German texts. As soon as you got a feeling for how German sounds and you build up a decent repertoire of vocabulary, get yourself a German book, starting with a short children's book. If possible, choose a book that uses simple present or Präsens in German, because you want to learn how to talk and you normally do that in that tense and not in simple past or something like that. Especially not in German. We barely use simple past. Präteritum. Du kommst nicht von hier, oder? For German learners, I can recommend Pixie-Bücher. Just Google for it. They are tiny children's stories, very cute and very cheap. And really, don't feel stupid about reading them. It may feel weird in the beginning to read a children's book as a grown-up man or woman, but it will pay out, believe me. Read this book out loud, page by page, and try to understand the meaning of the words and sentences, and try to get the plot. Mark the words that you don't know, try to guess what they mean, then look them up in a dictionary and put them into your notebook. If you know a German song or a poem that you like, try to learn it by heart and repeat it from time to time. When you're reading a short German text, try to also translate it, or at least parts of it. This step helps your brain connecting the words you learn with the translation experience. It feels like you're crafting something new, and this creativity kinda enlarges your brain's capacity. Not literally, of course, but you know what I mean. Translating means repeating a word, trying to understand its meaning in a certain context, and counting other meanings of that word, and choosing one. The more complex the experience, the more key stimuli for your brain to pick from. Talk to yourself. As soon as you feel quite comfortable with building simple sentences, try to talk to yourself whenever you're doing something or feeling something. Just express your thoughts in German. Ich habe Durst. Ich esse einen Keks. I personally love this method because I'm talking to myself a lot anyways, and this finally gives me a smart excuse for it. You can have full dialogues with yourself, and if it enhances your experience, try to do it in front of a mirror. Finally settle this stupid argument that you had with your friend Christine back in the 3rd grade. Tell her what you should have told her in German. Play little everyday games. Learning is boring and dry? Well, time to change that. Let's turn learning German into a game. You just ordered a delicious pizza. Name every topic in German first before you can eat it. That way there's a challenge with a time limit.
Wouldn't it be a shame if your awesome pizza got cold?
And if you succeed, your food is an instant reward. You're waiting for a friend at the bus stop? Think of an animal, a plant, a career, a verb, a dish, whatever. Starting with the letter S, or whatever other letter, before he or she arrives. You're doing the laundry? Name the clothes. The microwave takes 1 more minute? Name 10 German verbs before the beep. Not only will this help you to learn, it also makes your life more exciting. Raise the difficulty when it gets too easy, lower it when you cannot win the challenges. Become your very own daily life language game master. Start an audio diary. In the end of the day, take a couple of minutes to record yourself, summing up what you did to learn German today. What did you like and what didn't you like? What did you succeed in? And what did you have struggles with? What are your plans for tomorrow? And here's the important thing, do it in German. Don't worry, it doesn't have to be perfect at all. Just do it, spontaneously, without much thinking. And if it gets really, really frustrating, you can switch back to English. Not only will it make you feel proud hearing again what you did during the day, you also repeat it again in a way. But the best thing about this is that you can go back to old recordings and compare them to the newer ones. Why is that awesome? Well, because sometimes it's difficult to see your own progress. But if you compare your latest recording with an earlier one, you will definitely see a difference and feel proud about it. There's no better proof that you did learn something, and this is a really motivating thing to notice. Also, it's kinda cool to hear the foreign language out of your very own mouth. You will notice that your pronunciation improves, that you know way more words now, and that you speak way more fluently already than in the beginning. In short, it will show you how proud you can be of yourself. Alright, rabbits, these were some tricks how to learn a language by yourself that I could come up with. What applies to all of them is keep it simple and never ever feel stupid. Learning a language is hard. It takes a lot of effort and time, and I'm very proud of you if you decided to do so. And I hope my video could help you with some tricks. Are you currently learning a language? Which one is it? Did you find my ideas useful? Do you know other learning methods that you can do by yourself? Any funny learning experiences that you make and that you want to share with the world? Feel free to comment and leave a thumbs up if you liked the video, because then I can maybe make more of this kind. Alright, rabbits, have a beautiful day. Check out my other videos. See you in the next one. Bye!